Okay, this is Remington's birth story. If you want to hear me tell his story, then you can just keep watching. I mentioned on my Instagram that I didn't take any footage of the actual birth this time. It was kind of strange, but I just felt way more like private about it or something than I did with Jericho's birth, and I don't really know why, but that's just how it was and I went with it. So I want to start out just by praising God for the really wonderful birth that I had. Ever since I had found out that I was pregnant, I wasn't really ready to do this whole pregnancy thing again and the birth and all of that. And I kind of struggled somewhat with fear on and off, mainly just fear of the pain of birth, I guess. So I read a couple books. I read Birth Without Fear and followed the pain-free birth page on Instagram, and just read some books and stuff like that. And it really helped me to calm down my outlook on birth and all of that. And I still kind of struggled with it somewhat off and on. So I read some of those books and they did help, but nothing helped like just talking to the Lord about it, talking to God about it, just all the time. How I had several requests that I asked God for, and some of them were that it would be a really fast labor, and that it would be just like an easy, fast, and safe labor. And because my other labors were all like 24 hours, 22 hours, and I just did not want to go through that really long thing again. And then like at the end, it's several hours and of like hard labor. So I did not want to do that again. And that was one of my biggest requests, is that it be fast, safe and easy. So anyways, during the whole time that I was pregnant, I just had this aversion to anybody in my space. Like, I did not want to be pricked with needles. I didn't want to be checked. I just didn't want anything I just didn't want anybody in my space. I wanted to be completely left alone. I wanted the baby to be left alone in his little happy place in there. And so there was very minimal interaction during this pregnancy. And we also ended up having an unassisted birth, which was, I wanted to do it from the very start, and I was kind of a little scared to like be completely like, yes, this is what we're gonna do, let's do it. So it wasn't until the very end, when things got really wonky, that we were kind of forced then to be like, okay, we have to do unassisted birth. So kind of a long story short, I waited way too long to contact a care provider. And so it was like 36 weeks or something maybe. And everybody did not feel comfortable, like, being a midwife or a doctor. Even like, I called so many hospitals. It was a very stressful runaround time when it got towards the end of the pregnancy. And it was just so weird though, with all the decisions we felt like we had to make, and we were trying to figure things out, like, are we going to be able to go to a hospital? Can we even find a hospital? A hospital that would even allow us to do a VBAC was going to be like 3 hours away. So yeah, it was kind of a little bit of a mess. But when it all came down to it, the only thing that I really felt peace about was just doing the unassisted birth at home. And I don't know, I'm not really sure, but I feel like God led us into that because that was just what was the best for me with my personality, and just for everything to go smoothly. So anyways, okay, here's the birth story. I don't want to forget any details, so I'm going to try to do my best to stay concentrated, but it is very possible I might be like, oh wait, back up, I forgot this. So, okay, the night before, okay, wait. He came 3 days late. That was unusual. My babies have been 1 to 2, even 3 weeks early. So this was kind of weird. I was getting kind of worried, like, how could it be so different this time? But just trusted the process and let it keep going. And so the night before he was born, I had some contractions, but I wasn't really sure if they were still Braxton Hicks or if they were like the real thing. And then that morning I was having some, and I was like, I think these are like actual contractions now. And I was really happy about it. So I got up around, I don't know, I think maybe around 8 o'clock in the morning or something. I kind of had laid in bed and like had a few contractions, but they were like 10 minutes apart maybe. I got up and I went to the bathroom and I lost my mucus plug. I was like, I hate that word so much. Anyway, so I lost that and I was so excited. Okay, here's another really important detail. All of my babies had been born at nighttime so far, at home at nighttime. And I actually wanted this baby born during the day in the bright sunlight, the bright heavenly sunlight. And I prayed for that too, because that was really important to me. There's something, for me, just slightly depressing about the baby coming when it's completely dark outside. And I don't know, I just didn't like that, and I wanted to have it during the daytime when the sun was just beautifully shining. So it looked like it was gonna maybe happen. I was excited, but still unsure, like I could go until tomorrow until I have this baby. So anyways, around 8 or 9 o'clock, I went to the bathroom. That happened. And I was like, okay, I think this is it. And I was so excited. I kind of did a little dance in the bathroom. Then I came downstairs and just, I don't know, ate breakfast, talked with my family a little bit. And then I turned on some happy music, and just, it was a really nice morning. And then I think around like 9 o'clock, my husband left with Jericho. He's our 2-year-old. I didn't want to have to try to like watch him and deal with him while I was in labor, because he's a very energetic, wound up child. So it's like, I don't want to try to like be, taking care of him. Anyway, so they left, and then Marlon and Sage were here. And so I went back up to my room and I labored up there on my bed for a while, and like I had a big old stack of pillows in front of me, and I would kind of lean forward onto the pillows whenever I was having a contraction, and I would do like the, breathe in for 4 and blow out for 8, and that was very helpful to get through the contractions. Okay, actually, I think I forgot. I think I took a shower, actually. Yeah, I took a shower around 9 o'clock, and that was really nice. I washed my hair because I didn't want to have that like greasy hair right after you have the baby. That's like a really awful feeling. You just feel so nasty. So I took a shower, washed my hair, and then I went and labored on my bed for a while. And Marlon and Sage were kind of up there in the room with me. I instructed them to be very quiet whenever they see me breathing or whatever. So I think they kind of liked being there for that part of it. And so yeah, they started getting a lot more intense, and they were like 3-4 minutes apart. And then my husband got home around 10 o'clock, and he came upstairs. All the kids played downstairs, and it's kind of weird now that I think about it. Jericho was not taking a nap, but he never once tried to come upstairs, which was a really big blessing, obviously. But it's kind of interesting now that I look back on it. Like I don't even know what he was doing. I guess they were just all playing down here. Okay, so from 10 o'clock, my husband Okay, all along, I also kind of had the feeling that I was going to end up just having the baby on my bed. The other births had been water births. And so we set up the pool and everything, but I just kind of had a feeling all along that I probably wouldn't have a water birth. It for some reason, it didn't sound appealing. Just having the baby on the bed is what, I don't know. I think your body just tells you what to do if you listen to it. And so um, he started trying to fill up the pool because I just wasn't sure if I would end up getting in it. I wasn't sure how long it was gonna go and all that. So I was like, yeah, go ahead, try to fill it up. So he was doing that. I was laboring on the bed, and then I'm not sure what time it would have been by now, but not long after he got home, I laid down on my right side on the bed, and I was like, all of a sudden on one of the contractions, I was like, oh my goodness, I feel his head. And you know, he was like moving down through, and oh boy, I could feel it. And then maybe like 1 or 2 contractions later, I knew his head was like coming out. It was about out. And then I felt the ring of fire, but it wasn't like I feel like I'm gonna die like it had before. It was just like I was just kind of there on my right side, but I kind of had my hands flat on the bed, and I was like talking to myself, and I was telling myself to relax and take it easy. Like I was really telling myself this out loud because I didn't want to push his head through really fast and have like a really bad tear and all that. So like, you know, I was really tense, but the head was coming out, and then his head was out after I think about like 2 contractions of like me bearing down. And so yeah, his head popped out, and he just kind of stayed. It was really weird. He just kind of stayed there, like still, like only his head was out, and it just stayed like that for a while. And of course Marlon was back there on the bed, ready to do whatever he might need to do. And he's like, he's not coming out. And I was like, it was kind of strange that it was like that, because usually once the head pops out, like the whole body comes out. But anyways, I was like, is his shoulder stuck? You know, because I knew if his shoulders were stuck, I knew that I would need to get up on my knees, like on all fours, and trying to get him out that way. But anyways, I was like, I think I just need to push a little more. And then like I never had any more like of those pushy contractions. So like I took a little breather, and then I pushed a couple times, and he came right out. And I was just like so present the whole time. Like I was extremely in tune. I didn't feel like my soul left my body and was like in a different place. Like I think a lot of you that give birth probably know what I mean. Like sometimes when it's just so intense, it's like you're not really there, kind of. Like I don't know how to explain it. And then after the baby's out, a lot of times it takes you a while to like calm down and come back down to earth, and then like be like, oh, the baby's here. It wasn't like that this time. I just felt so in tune the whole time, which was really awesome. And anyways, so Marlon picked him up, and I turned around, and he was crying. It's really a beautiful sound to hear the baby crying when it first comes out. So it's like, you know, everything's fine. And so his cord, I think it was kind of short because I couldn't bring him like all the way up. He was kind of like, I was holding him down on my belly. Anyways, the placenta wasn't coming out right away, and I really wanted to get it out because I couldn't like hold the baby. The cord, yeah, like I said, it seemed like it was too short or something. So I kind of got up on my knees, and it came right out. Thankfully, it came right out by itself. My last birth, we had to go to the hospital and get it out. The doctor had to pretty much rip it out. So yeah, just all of these things I had prayed for, and even just that, you know, just that everything would be normal, that the placenta would come out by itself, that it, you know, everything would be healthy and turn out well. And it was really awesome to have to experience all that. And I just, I really believe that it was all God. And so anyways, yeah, the baby was here, and everything was great. And the kids came up and got to see the baby, and I do have a video of them coming to see the baby. That is just like the sweetest thing, like the wonder in everybody's eyes, like seeing this tiny new little baby that they've been waiting for so long. It's so neat. So anyways, they came and saw the baby, and I held him for a while, and he nursed a little bit. And then we used our kitchen scales to weigh him. Like, we have little kitchen scales, and we put a big bowl on it with a towel, and we weighed him like that. And then we measured him, and yeah, that was, oh, and then we also had, like, I had made like a little braided thing out of some cotton embroidery thread, and we just used that to tie off his cord. And then we sterilized some of the kids' craft scissors. We sterilized those, and just we cut the cord like that. So overall, the experience of it being just Marlon and I, being during the bright daylight, just everything was so relaxed. And I think that would be part of the reason why it went so fast, because there seems to be a lot of evidence that shows when a mother is completely relaxed, things can just really progress. And you know, if there's anything at all that is stressing her out, then it can just, you know, really make the labor take a lot longer. And for me, I think having other people around can kind of make it take longer for me, because I'm such an inhibited person that anybody in my space, I instantly kind of become way more inhibited than I would be without those people there. And of course, Marlon is the only person that I can just feel really free to be completely myself with. So that turned out extremely wonderful. I think I would probably do it again. I would never suggest that somebody do that, just because, you know, obviously there are risks, and that was a really kind of hard thing for us to swallow and come to grips with, that okay, we kind of were almost like forced now, because we waited so long, to take the risk and trust in God that everything will go well, and that He will give us wisdom to know what to do if something goes wrong. So yeah, I'm not gonna like recommend it, but for me, I think it was amazing, and I just think it fit my personality. Like, that went really well. So with that being said, I kind of almost don't like to say that, you know, my personality is to do this unassisted thing, all natural and all this stuff, because, you know, someday I also think that I would like to experience a birth like with a walking epidural or something. I don't know if it'll ever happen, but yeah, so don't hold me to the whole hippie unassisted birth thing. It worked wonderful this time, and we are thankful for the experience. So if you have questions, you can leave them below. Maybe I'll do like a question and answer video about this unassisted birth, because I know when I first was wondering about the whole thing, like I had so many questions about just all kinds of stuff. So if you have questions, you can leave those down there. Maybe I'll make another video and answer all those questions. But anyways, we got our fourth child, our third boy. It's pretty unbelievable. They just make everything worth it. What a mother goes through to have a baby. Okay, that's it for this video. I hope that you enjoyed that birth story. And if you want to, give it a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel. My videos are kind of random, but I'm trying to be like put out a little more than usual. So anyways, thank you for watching, and just be over here snuggling my baby.